That was slightly more tedious than I thought. So, full disclosure, right before I pressed record, oh, here's the thing. I did press record, but I forgot to set it to HD 60 because for as long as I can remember, I've been doing all of my videos at 60 frames a second. Only the highest quality for you. I mean, it doesn't really make much of a difference to me whether it's honestly, why do people care about if it's oh, I do know it's a difference in terms of how things look, don't get me wrong. But you can still get quality at 30 frames a second. You know, it's not like it's that big of a deal. Seriously, like, there have been so many great video games that have come out that have either been like remakes or brand new stuff for game series. And people are like, oh, the gameplay is amazing. You know, the story looks great, but it's at 30 frames per second. No! Like, really? Is that big of a deal? Anyway, let's get to my low, my high, my act of kindness. I guess my low is, it's been kind of, I'd say kind of a long week, I suppose. Not bad, just kind of long. A lot happened this week that I don't want to get into yet. Well, here's the thing. I don't really plan on talking about it anytime soon. And it's nothing bad. In fact, I think what happened was pretty great. It's just, it's something I want to keep personal for now. Nothing, I mean, maybe at some point I'll share what it is or what it was, depending on if it ever ends. But, yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Let's see. My high was, last night was my first time out and about in this area since May 16th, maybe? It was a while ago, man. Holy cow. Well, technically it was the 17th that was my last time out and about, but yeah, it's been quite a while since I was just here on a Friday night, and it was great. You got to see some people that I know last night. You guys know who you are. And it was nice. I mean, I ended my night you went to Nick's, then I ended my night at Patrick's, and it was nice. It was really great to see some people that I knew who were there. Actually, while I was staying at Patrick's a lot longer than I thought I would, but you know what? I'm still here. Made it to bedtime. Well, not really. There really was no time I had to do anything. Just, you know, had to be in bed. And my act of kindness was several times throughout the day, I held the door for people. That was my act of kindness. Unfortunately, I don't really know what to talk about today. Oh, actually, I did kind of have an idea, and it's actually kind of fitting that I'm wearing this orange shirt when I do. I don't know why, but I've been thinking about going back to Naruto. Not like actually reading from start to finish, but I pretty much just watched scenes that I definitely remember most vividly and fondly. And I've also been watching, there's this one guy who has 2 channels. It's the Weeb Commander and NC Hammer. And Classic Man D talks about Naruto every now and again. So shout out to those guys. By the way, again, Weeb Commander and NC Hammer are the same person. Classic Man D is another person talking, but shout out to those guys. And I've just been kind of thinking about my thoughts. I mean, I did a series about when Totally Not Mark was doing his 100% blind review of the series. So I'm going to try not to say, I'm going to try not to say things I've already said. But, I mean, you hear Naruto and people either remember it fondly or not so fondly. For me, I look at it like this. Naruto is a series that I grew up with. It is a series that, I started watching when it first aired on Toonami on Cartoon Network. And then when it got to Naruto Shippuden, which is essentially after the 2-year time skip, watched that, and for the most part, I exclusively read the manga, and I'll get to why in a minute. And overall, as a series, if you're looking for a series that has a satisfying conclusion in the realm of the main character sets out to do something, and by the very end of the story he or she accomplishes that, in this case Naruto is a he obviously, which reminds me, I hope everyone's enjoying Pride Month. If you're looking for a character that goes from point A to point B, wanting something, to having it at the very end of the series, then this series will satisfy you. Because that's exactly what it does. Like in the very beginning of the series, Naruto's dream is to become the Hokage. That's basically the leader of the village. For a very good reason. People look at him as a monster because he has the nine-tailed fox demon inside of him. Or the QB, if you will. Yes, in the series, if you have basically there's tailed beasts in Naruto, and if a tailed beast is inside of a person, they are called the Jinchuriki. That's what they're called. So Naruto is a Jinchuriki. And because of the demon is inside of him, Naruto is looked down on. People think he's a freak. So if he became the Hokage, people have to respect him. Which again, when Naruto first says this dream to Iruka Sensei in the first episode, Naruto's like 12 years old. He's saying things that you would expect a kid to say because they don't know much. They don't know any better at that point. And it wasn't until Naruto was just about 12 they learned about the nine-tailed fox inside of him. Why is that? Well, because it happened to him when he was a baby. Naruto's parents died, trying to save him, and in order to save him, they had to put the nine-tailed fox inside of Naruto. By the way, the nine-tailed fox's name is Kurama. So, with Naruto being looked down upon a lot, he comes to the conclusion that if he becomes the Hokage, people have to respect him. And it's not like he can just say it's going to happen. No, he does work hard. Problem is, he really is considered a screw-up in many regards. Over time, he becomes much stronger than the very beginning of the show. I mean, he failed the graduation exam twice because he couldn't even perform the clone jutsu. And by the end, the multi-shadow clone jutsu is one of his most iconic signature moves. That and the Rasengan. So, yes, when Naruto wants to become Hokage, and it actually does become Hokage by the end of the show, if you're looking for a story that really does go from Naruto wanting what he wants to getting to the end of it in a way that's actually good, because remember he got through hard work, then I would recommend the show, and the series. I do recommend the series, I really do. There's just a whole lot of stuff you gotta get through to get there. And by stuff to get through, I mean all the negative stuff that so many people have talked about in the past. For starters, there is a lot of filler in that anime. Like, they made entire filler arcs for the show. Why they do that? Because, I've said this before, when an anime is being made, it's usually based off of a manga. And unless the manga is for some reason done with its series, they'll try to make sure the anime doesn't catch up with the manga. And that's why they have a lot of filler. Problem is, there's so, like, seriously, there's like 700 hours worth of filler in like 700 some episodes or whatever of Naruto. It's like 220 for the original show. 85 of those episodes are complete filler, with 500 being Naruto Shippuden. So you can imagine just how many things you can. And one guy I once saw this one guy make a video talking about how he actually made Naruto watchable for his girlfriend so he could show her Naruto. And I mean, I believe it. I haven't found that video in a long time, but it's called like Naruto the Ocean Dub, I think is what it was called. Like some guy somehow cut out all the filler, which good on him, but he could never post on the internet because that guy would go to jail for life. That's like double life. Seriously, he'd be violating so many copyrights that he'd serve like a double life sentence. That's how serious it is what he did. So with all that said, I shared this before when I talked about the Fourth Great Ninja War arc, as Totally Not Mark was doing that series, Blind. But right near the ending, that's when even diehard fans of the show really need to question what they've been enjoying all this time. Because if you don't, I didn't explain this part. One of the big, plot elements of this story is Naruto trying to bring Sasuke home. Because he made the promise to Sakura, and now he has to bring Sasuke home. And Sasuke has his own bit of trauma, with the death of his entire family by the hands of his brother, only to find out that his family was going to plan a coup d'etat in the village, in the Hidden Leaf village. So his brother had to make a choice, and his brother Itachi's like, I'll do it. I'll kill my family, but I'm not going to kill Sasuke. Because remember, Sasuke would be like 5 or 6 years old. He's innocent. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to, partake in a coup d'etat. I don't think Sasuke. I mean, it's very evident that Sasuke didn't even know what was going on when it happened. He just came home one night and found that his entire family is dead. His parents are dead. Okay, I had to get that joke out of the way. And by the end of the series, they're trying to defeat a group a group known as the Akatsuki, which they are able to succeed at. And I mean, it really does get into a lot of stuff I don't want to get into right now. I can't really talk about one particular thing without getting into it, though, however. So, the war ends. Sasuke, Naruto, Sakura, and Kakashi, their sensei, they save the world. It's great. Sasuke gets it in his head that for the world to remain united, he has to bear all of that hatred. And to do that, he needs to kill all five Kage while they're still under the infinite Tsukuyomi. And then, Naruto fights in the final valley, or Valley End in the original Japanese. And, Naruto does knock some sense of him, thankfully. Quite literally losing an arm in the process. And, eventually Naruto does become Hokage. I know there's a whole bunch of stuff I left out. And lately a lot of people, especially watching The Weed Commander, have been voicing this similar opinion that I have, which is Sasuke wanting to do what he did at the end really derailed the series for a lot of people. And it did for me too. It really did. So for this video, I decided to share how I would end Naruto. So, the way I would end Naruto is this. Going into the war, Sasuke was already a notorious criminal. No change in that. Like, pretty much everything up until after Team 7, Naruto's group, defeats Kaguya, the ultimate big bad of the series. And, like, after that, that's when, they free everyone under the Infinite Tsukuyomi. Sasuke goes on his journey, and, Naruto becomes Hokage. Now, I know a lot of you who are listening to this, you're thinking, wait, where's Naruto and Sasuke's final fight? Where's the final fight? We need to see that final fight. I'm getting there. So years go by, and it's about to be decided that Naruto is to become Hokage. And that's when Sasuke returns from his long journey of sort of like atonement and trying to repent for his sins. And that's, years later, Naruto and Sasuke are adults. They have their battle at the Final Valley. That battle would be amazing. And don't get me wrong, the final battle in the original series, top notch. Actually, both Naruto versus Sasuke fights at the end of part 1, after Shippuden, like, they're two of the greatest anime fights I personally have ever seen in my life. No question. I wouldn't change a thing about them. Given what we got. I would just simply change the circumstances as to why we got to the second one, but that's really about it. I mean, Weed Commander straight up had, NC Hammer, this is the NC Hammer channel, he straight up has Sasuke dying at the end of the series. No, don't do that. I wouldn't kill off Sasuke. No. I mean, 90% of the show is Naruto trying to get Sasuke back. Like, for him to do that and have Sasuke die? I mean, that's ludicrous. Why would anyone want that? I mean, yes, by the end of the series, Sasuke was already a very divisive character to begin with. And by the end of the show, even diehard Sasuke fans are like, oh, Sasuke, why'd you have to do that? But straight up killing one of the main characters of the show, an arguable staple of the show, yeah, I just wouldn't do that. I mean, to this day, I'm still shook that, Naruto didn't end up with Sakura. Yes, that was actually my one and only ship I've ever done. Narusaku for life. And it didn't happen. So, what can you do? I'm so glad that Naruto ended up with Hinata. No, for all intents and purposes, yeah. This is something totally not Mark talked about as well. Naruto really is a great series with a lot of really great characters. It just doesn't take that much time to explore that many of them. Save for a few. Like Rock Lee and Guy. It does explore Hinata, obviously. Gaara. I think I just named the 4 characters that are good guys that people focus on the most. Crazy, right? Actually Shikamaru. They do Shikamaru too. So 5, yeah. 5 characters off the top of my head, I think they get the most screen time out of the main after the 4 main characters are Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, and Kakashi. It's Shikamaru, Gaara, Rock Lee, Might Guy, and Hinata. I think they probably get more screen time than anyone. That's not to say other characters don't. Killer Bee did, Ino and Shoji, Kiba, Shino. They all get some screen time, and they get very little development. I wouldn't say much, but very little. So, they do get some development, in the form of filler, which is, actually, I mentioned how bad the filler was earlier. There's one amendment I need to make. There's one filler arc that they did make that I genuinely count as canon. even though it probably isn't. I do count as canon. And it's when the stage of the Sixth Path, Hagoromo Otsutsuki, is talking about his backstory. They don't show that in the manga. What they did in the anime was completely anime only. Me personally, I do feel that is canon. I really do feel like that is canon because I really feel that was well done. It really touched upon who Hagoromo was, who his children were, the ones who made the world the way it was, pretty much. In that regard, that filler's good. That's good filler. That's the filler that we like. But yeah. Again, I probably talked way more than I probably should have. In fact, I talked so much, I just used improper grammar there. I should have talked, I said I talked much more than I should have, not way more. I talked much more. Anyway, if you're looking for a series that, has the main character with a goal, or multiple goals, and said main character through hard work, determination, understanding, values and growing up to obtain those goals, then this series will satisfy you. In that regard only. Because there is a lot of great moments in this show. I mean, I could do I'm not. You know what? After my Arc Thought series ends in September for Dragon Ball, I could probably do Naruto again. Or Fairy Tail. Ooh, I could do Fairy Tail. I don't know. For now, I'll just say Naruto, for all intents and purposes, is a great series. I do recommend it. Even with some of the big flaws that it has. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. I hope you like this video. If you like, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow me on social media. As always, I'm on this video for all you guys watching Jordan. We have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful Saturday. Oh, I forgot to say happy Saturday. Happy Saturday, everyone. And remember, if anything you guys want to talk to, we're here to lend you always your back. Take care and make good choices. 607 all day, baby.